Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and our whole crew is together today in celebration of the birthday girl, no doubt. Happy birthday, Coy Malone.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, here in general, or just in life and active and participating. I'm assuming as well.
Yes, definitely in life. It's been a rough year. I had a rough start when I was born. I was actually supposed to be born in February, late February, early March. I was 1 pound and 15 ounces. Had a lot of doubts on the way in, and
You didn't
I
have
have
doubts.
the doctors did. They had a lot of doubts, and so it's kind of seemed like it's been almost the theme of my life. I don't want to claim that, and I'm always overcoming something, but I have overcome a lot in this lifetime.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you have. I'm glad you continue, and that is going to be the focus of our "What's Really Going On" question today. So hold on for that. Uh, Chris Paul, Huggy Lowdown, how are you guys? How's everything going?
Everything's
I was
good.
it was good. I was great till we heard that unsung moment. Like the smoking joint.
I want to say happy birthday, Coy. Happy birthday, Coy. And thanks to Coy's earrings, we're broadcasting on DirecTV today.
Happy birthday, Coy.
Thank you.
That is a hell of a satellite that we are reflecting off of. You're absolutely
Strong
right.
signal.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Coy, let's just talk a little bit about the birthday. Are you doing anything, or have you done anything to celebrate?
Well, yeah, I co-hosted a party at a brand new bar in East Atlanta called the East Atlanta Treehouse over the weekend, and that was pretty fun. It's
Was it
really
your party?
Yeah, well, it was mine and like 10 other people who were celebrating their birthday, including the owner of the venue, whose name is Drez the Beatnik. So that was pretty fun.
Okay, that's a
And
shameless plug. Okay,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
I like the place because it's a hidden gem. Like if you don't
Oh,
know
now we
where
have an
the
advertising. Okay, it's a
Oh,
hidden
no,
gem.
he's
That's
doing
the
well,
way.
commercials
it
and
is.
That's the way
everything.
things are
I heard
usually
I heard the
advertised.
tree house is all the way up.
It's a hidden gem.
No,
Yes.
really, it is because if you don't know where the doorway is, you're gonna walk right by
Right into a tree.
it.
Watch out for that
You had
tree.
fun, Coy.
Say it again.
You had fun.
I did. I had fun. I enjoyed myself. And then tonight I'm going out for dinner. And then over
Okay.
the weekend we're gonna go to the Hawks basketball game. And
Ooh.
hopefully to the Jackson State Celebration Bowl that they're gonna be playing this weekend, since they are now the SWAC champions.
Congratulations.
Sybil, can I cuss?
Yes.
Can I say SHI? You can't say that. You're doing a whole lot of SHIT before Christmas, girl.
I got to.
and
People
I'm
give
not
me excuses every year.
I'm not sure why she's got to, but okay, all right, good for you, good for
A whole
you.
lot of
Yes,
stuff,
people
man.
give me excuses instead of birthday presents because they're Christmas shopping.
Well, is that fair? Something that you have experienced over your lifetime? Because I have friends whose birthdays are within the 10 days before or after, including one Chris
Chris
Paul.
Paul, his birthday is the day after.
After Christmas. So asking the both of you, is that an issue in terms of not really getting birthday gifts and Christmas gifts and people combining them to be all in one?
I consolidate. It's happy
Con-
birthmas. You give him a Air Force One on Christmas and the other shoe on the day of his birthday.
Right.
Mhm.
And Chris Paul, what do you think?
I mean, my birthday, they celebrate here in the true spirit of Christmas. Like last year, they brought me some frankincense. I don't even know what to do with it. I have no idea what to do with it, but it's in my manger still.
Historically, have you had that issue though?
Not really, but Christmas is actually so exhausting, especially
Mm.
raising kids and everything, that typically by the time it's my birthday, I don't feel like doing anything.
But as a kid, did you have that? Oh, here's something for birthday and Christmas,
Oh
Chris?
yeah. I get a present on Christmas from my relatives, and it had Christmas/birthday written on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
And
uncle,
It
my uncle,
turned money up.
my uncle cheap bastard, and my aunt cheap as shit.
Oh no. How's she doing, Chris?
Oh, she's good, bro. She's good.
And I'd like to see her driver's license with that
But
too.
I get the same thing on Father's Day and my birthday.
Because you're June. You're a
Right.
June baby.
So I
Yeah.
get Father's Day.
And so Coy, have you always had that too, where you have people combine the gifts for birthday and Christmas?
Yeah, my best friend just did that today. She made sure to give me 2 different presents, but I have gotten a lot of happy birthday, do not open till Christmas. And it's so funny because my dad's birthday was actually on Christmas.
Yeah.
And so he got happy
Wow.
birthday / Merry Christmas presents. So I always try to make sure I got him 2 separate things because of that
Because
story
you
that he told me.
understood. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely understood.
But what about the black people that celebrate their birthday for a whole month? You see
Right.
them on their Facebook post. It's my birthday month. What?
Right.
You talking about the
Yeah.
unemployed people?
Right.
Mhm.
Talking about they're going to celebrate for a whole month?
A whole month.
They raising money for the whole month.
And their Cash App names.
And
yeah,
the Cash
of
App.
course,
They
okay.
believe in the
I
Cash
ain't gonna
App
lie.
now.
I did that today, but only
Okay.
because
Did you?
I did, but
what we up
I
to?
dropped it in between, mentioning plants for presents and skates. I made it a third thing, not the top
Hell,
thing.
you might as well shout it out here.
You've given everybody else a plug.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to? Can I do
No.
that?
Then shout out mine.
Okay. And we'll do that. Let's talk about what's going on in the news and in our topics of conversation. We had a horrific storm over the weekend, and that is something we also talk about in the newsletter. But just want to give you an update on that in terms of especially the casualties that are still mounting in the state of Kentucky. The governor, Andy Beshear, updated the number of deaths, and we're now looking at over 70 people who died as a relation to the storm. This was a heck of a storm. 6 states, you guys, covering 6 states, starting in Arkansas, Illinois, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi. And the biggest storm, obviously, took place in the state of Kentucky. And this was crazy. This storm actually covered 200 miles, stayed on the ground for 200 miles in the state of Kentucky. And we're talking hurricane type winds. This particular storm, one of the tornadoes was an F3, which means 150 to over 200 miles an hour. That kind of strength. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Don't
a
want
lot
to
of
be
coverage.
anywhere in that path.
200 miles. Though.
200 miles. It stayed on the ground.
Wow.
That's a lot of the
that
state.
force. Yeah. And that's why when it hit that particular town of Mayfield, Kentucky, and you're talking about a factory involving a number of people dead there, and not to mention the people in their homes, and because this was a late evening into the night storm, which is, I mean, you can't pick your times for storms to arrive, but it's something about the nighttime storms that are just so much more frightening. At least for me, in terms of being unable to really get your bearings about you after things are over. Right?
Have you been in one, Sybil?
I have.
Wow.
I have. As a matter of fact, I was working in Charlotte when a hurricane came through there. Now, I'd worked for years in Florida and had always avoided the hurricanes. But as far as Charlotte, it was overnight, and it's really difficult to get your bearings when those things occur. Because it's dark, everything is, you can't really see, left from right, up from down in a lot of cases, because people are actually, in this case, people were torn out of their homes.
Oof.
I think it's time we all develop a greater respect for Mother Nature right now, because because of climate change, Mother Nature is even more furious than she's ever been. And that candle factory where they have all those casualties, I was seeing some of the families of the deceased on the news, and they're furious. Like, they said everybody knew the tornadoes were coming, and they were made to go to work.
Right. I heard they were told if they left, they were going to be fired.
Right.
Yeah. And Del Cooper is on with us and is talking on YouTube. I live in Kentucky and we got hit hard. It will take months, even years, for some of our towns to recover. Thankfully, we have a great governor who's making sure that we get the funding we need. And the president was on top of that as well and promising the governor. And Adele, please we send you our prayers, and let us know if we can do anything to help you, because that's really what this is all about, is not only informing people of what happened, but how we can help people in their greatest time of need. And as you said, your governor has really been on top of it. He's a Democrat, Andy Bashir, who is just getting into the office, I believe, I think he was elected last year before last.
But how crazy is it that we just had a president that wouldn't help a state if it had a Democratic governor,
Right.
or if the state didn't vote for him?
Right.
Based on his political party.
Right.
How crazy is that? Right. And so this is when you're talking about the climate change, that's the one thing I wanted to talk about, Chris, because I believe that it is really playing a part in all of this with the warmer temperatures. Because here in Texas, we've had like 80-degree days, and then the next day it was down in the 50s.
Mhm.
And now it was 70 degrees today. It's going to be even warmer this week, and then it's going to drop again. And that is the kind of thing where the hot and the cold air meet and the storms begin.
Mhm.
They collide, right?
Right. Right. I mean, part of what makes this what happens so remarkable with the tornadoes, they keep stressing, this doesn't happen in December.
Right.
It doesn't happen in December until
Wow.
now.
Right. And with the climate changes that we are experiencing, I think that we need to get used to this. And so that brings me to my next point. Do you guys recognize when the warnings are given through alarms in your towns?
I do. I mean, if you remember, my wife and I had to drive my daughter to New York to go to college on a day when there was a
I do remember
hurricane
that.
coming
Yeah.
towards New York City,
Yeah.
and we were ducking tornadoes. And thankfully, I mean, the way it is with the cell phone service now,
Mhm.
alerts all come through your
Mhm.
cell phones. But that's one of the
Yeah.
problems. That was one of the problems in these rural areas
That's
that just
right.
got hit. They say they have no cell phone service out there.
Wow.
They have no broadband
So they
internet.
blindsided.
Yeah, they're
Right.
blindsided, but thankfully we kept getting alerts, and every time we got an alert, my wife would pull underneath a bridge if we could fit in there and just hide out until the coast
Right.
was clear.
Right. And a lot of people don't have it, or they don't recognize the signals the alarms that come through your town. And so
Right.
that's something else we need to be educated on, is that, first of all, to update it. And I hope that that is a part of the president's infrastructure bill, right?
Mhm.
And as well as understanding what the various warnings mean. And this one lady said it until she heard something that sounded, and her daughter was saying, "Wow, it sounds like a train." And she said,
Mhm.
"That's the tornado,
Yeah.
darling, and we need to
I
take
hear that all
cover."
the time. I hear that all the time. No, I'm saying people saying it sound like a train.
Oh, I
It
thought you
does.
meant
I
that
hear
in
that
your
Yeah.
from people.
personal life.
No,
I
but
thought-
No,
I'm
no,
sure
no.
for so many people, things like tornadoes and hurricanes,
It's
they
foreign.
don't truly
It's foreign.
respect it until
Right.
they've been in it.
Right.
Until
Right.
they've
Right.
seen one, it's like
They
they
got
don't
to
believe.
scare the hell out of them.
Yeah.
They got to scare
It's
the
like
hell out
Santa
of them.
Claus. They don't believe in it
Yeah.
until he's
Yeah.
standing in your living room
Thank you
eating your
very much.
cookies.
And a lot of people don't even know what
In the living room.
tornado siren sounds like. It sounds almost like a fire truck siren. And a lot of people don't know that. That's what you hear more of those in like the Midwest and in Tornado Alley. I know they had some in Arkansas where my mom grew up,
Mhm.
where she's from, where her family is from. And fortunately, her family is okay. I did speak with them today, but a lot of people have no clue what this sounds like. They might think it's an emergency
Right. Vehicle.
fire truck or something, and not
Yeah.
thinking it's actually a tornado alarm going off, signaling for you to take cover right now.
And
We
my
don't
lo-
learn this in school either.
the same thing, that was the other thing I was going to mention, Coy, is because when I think it was my grandmother was growing up, they talked about having the tornado drills
Mm-hmm.
under, and kids taking cover under the desk,
All
not
outside.
only for the attack of the Russians, but they also had tornado drills because she was in the Midwest in Kansas, and that's where my mom grew up too. And so they were very accustomed and had a great respect for the power of the tornado.
But nowadays, there's no time for tornado drills because they're busy doing school shooter drills.
Yeah, and then
Right.
there's that.
Which is that is a very real thing. I have had to participate in tornado drills probably like once, but I've done more school shootings, and that was because I grew up in California, which is
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the crazy thing, Coy. It happens everywhere now. And,
Right.
Yeah,
kids all over the country.
that's the
Not
norm.
the tornado drills and the shooter drills. That's a sad statement on our reality.
Right. When they hear tornado drill or the actual tornado coming, there's a sign of relief.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We know how to take
Mm.
cover from that.
Right.
Yikes.
Today, the United States Supreme Court rejected the religious challenge to the New York vaccine mandate. The challenge is brought by Christian doctors and nurses and a group that promotes vaccine skepticism, objecting to New York's refusal to allow for the religious exemptions to the state's mandate that healthcare workers be vaccinated against COVID-19. Acting in two cases, the justices denied emergency requests for an injunction requiring the state to allow religious exemptions. They said absolutely not. Conservative justices Clarence Thomas, Sam Alito, and Neil Gorsuch said they would have granted the injunctions. Of course, the most conservative of those justices. The Supreme Court previously rejected other challenges to vaccine mandates, including one focusing on Maine's lack of a religious exemption for healthcare workers. So they're saying that no, you cannot use your religious stance as a way to get away from the vaccine mandates. And this comes in connection to a soap opera star who is suing his network because they did have a vaccine mandate and he was fired. For those of us who watched the soap opera General Hospital, the only one left, pretty much, the only one on ABC anyway, he was fired from the show because he refused to get vaccinated against the virus, and he is suing ABC, calling the
It
vaccine.
wasn't Robert Scorpio, was it?
No. This is Jasper Jacks.
Oh.
That's you old, bro. You old.
Oh, it wasn't Luke, was it?
Luke is gone. Robert Scorpio is still
Luke,
there,
I
though.
remember Luke.
What?
Luke,
Robert
yeah.
Scorpio is still there.
He's still there, Chris.
Luke. I
What does he do? Is he a
Is
secret
it
agent?
Luke and Laura?
Yeah.
Luke, yeah, and Laura's back. Laura's
Right.
still there.
What? How old is Laura now?
102. Yeah.
She's not that young, Sybil. Coy went to go Google her. Look.
So Rademacher, Ingo Rademacher, who was a part of General Hospital for 25 years,
Wow.
playing Jasper Jacks, filed documents in LA claiming he asked ABC for a religious exemption for getting the vaccine, but was denied. And prior to the denial, he says he was subjected to a 30-minute interview from the network to prove his religious status, but clearly the network wasn't buying it.
From the network or the general hospitals?
He was fired from ABC.
Oh,
He didn't play a doctor on the show, did he?
No, he was a mega millionaire
Okay.
kind of guy who, from Australia, who did all of his things. So he has been fired. He's off the show. And he said he laid out the history of vaccines and saying that they were first developed under the Trump administration, caused a lot of Democrats and the president Biden to be skeptical. He went through all of this and said, he still had religious objections. And so he has filed suit against ABC.
That's how old I am. I haven't watched General Hospital since Luke and Laura hooked up with Robert Scorpio to find the Ice Princess.
Oh my God, the Ice Princess! You have been
The
around.
Ice Princess.
He's a pan.
That's when Elizabeth Taylor, I think, was a part of the show. She came in and guested.
And wasn't Jesse on there? What,
No,
is that
No,
that was
that's-
that was all my children.
Oh, my
okay,
children.
Jesse. How do you know? You
Huggy,
Pam?
Huggy.
I was all my. You're Jesse and Angie. Everybody like Jesse and Angie. Angie's a drunk now, man.
She's a drunk on what show?
On Power Book.
Oh, okay.
Is she?
She's
She
Tariq's
plays-
grandmother.
Yeah, she played the Natari Naughton's mother.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
good.
wow.
Good, man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Um,
what are you doing today, girl? What's wrong
Man,
with
everybody keeps calling me. I'm like, stop.
She needs
I
to
don't
charge
know
her.
how
She
to
need
get
to charge her
done.
earrings.
you? Oh my God.
I'm set on do not disturb. I don't understand how they getting through.
She was
Oh,
talking to Michael Strahan through her earring. You still up there? Not
Right.
yet?
Let's move on to what's really going on. And as I said, it was prompted by two things. One is Coy Malone herself, and it's also having to do with the fourth time being the charm for Kim Kardashian as she has passed what she calls the baby bar exam. She has passed one step closer to becoming an attorney. She didn't really go to law school. She studied for the bar on her own, and she has passed this after 2 years of attempts, the fourth time. Holding back, she says she passed the baby bar exam. She failed it 3 times, had COVID during one of those attempts, and she said she had the third try at 104-degree fever, but she wasn't making any excuses. The baby bar is the first of 2
It
exams
don't
needed
sound
to
like
be
it
taken
either.
as an attorney in the state of California. And so she has taken on this task. She has passed the baby bar. So this is the first step. Now, I'll tell you why I also.
Chris passed the minibar.
And who,
I never passed the mini bar.
I'm with you, Chris. I will always stop at the mini bar. But this is also in honor of Coy, because my question is, what's the one thing or person you pursued over and over despite roadblocks and the no's that you received? Coy Malone is one of the most industrious people I've ever known, and she keeps plugging away. No matter what comes as a roadblock, as a deterrent to her moves, you keep going, Coy. And so that's what brought me to this on your birthday, thinking about how determined you are and how you don't take no for an answer. You just keep plugging away. So that's the question
I
to
should
all
plug
of
the
you.
treehouse.
I see what Sybil doing. Sybil trying to replace Oprah, making her guests cry on the show.
Because that show about the TF.
She
Chris.
trying to get Coy to cry on her birthday.
Coy's a tough one. She ain't gonna cry. Trust and believe. I've
Not
tried
today.
many a times. But she, this is something that I want to know from all of you, those of you who are watching and listening as well. What is it? I'm drinking myself choke up. What is it, or who is it that has stopped you from, or tried to stop you from doing something, but you just kept going? You just, put your head down and kept going. And Coy, we can get, I know, several examples from you. But Chris and Huggy, do you have any things that you want to think about or to share with us?
Who has stopped us from pursuing?
Yeah, that's something that you have pursued over and over again, but you kept going. It's like, nope, you can't have this job. Or a woman that said, nope, not gonna be bothered with you. A person, a thing, something that
You
has
threw in the draws?
well,
happens.
I wasn't
Nope.
gonna go that
No.
far and
Okay.
deep
I'm sorry.
into
No,
it.
I'm saying you said no for a woman. No.
But have you had experiences where you're just like, I'm not gonna be deterred?
I mean, I guess I can speak for Huggy. I mean, just being in show business,
Right.
then that's just constant. Constant in show business is about one day you're up, next day you're down. One day everybody loves you, then it feels like nobody knows you. That's just show business, period. So,
Right.
and that's why show business tries to throw you off the back of the horse every chance you get. But you got to hold on, like you're at Gillies, like you're John Travolta.
Right.
You
Riding
really
that
do.
bull at Gillies, because it's trying to throw us off, but we're not going to let it.
Right. Have you had that in radio though? Not just as stand up, not as writers and actors. Have you had that in radio? Because radio is one of those businesses. They'll say, nope, you don't have the experience. Nope, you're not this enough. Nope, you're not that enough. And you just keep going until somebody will open the door, whether it's TV, radio, or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely in radio. I mean,
Hell yeah, in radio.
especially when I was doing sports radio. I mean, they
Mhm.
just flat out said I was too black. I'm like the least black of the black people.
and who amongst black people doesn't talk sports?
Right. I'm like,
Right. Oh my God.
I'm
Second language.
on ESPN radio the same time I'm on Tom Joyner's show. On ESPN, they're telling me I'm too black, and on Tom Joyner's show, listeners who've never seen me before think I'm white.
You can't win for losing.
I can't win.
You can't win for losing.
That's crazy.
What about you, Huggy? Do you have any specific examples of you keep plugging away?
Radio.
I don't imagine as a young handsome man having any difficulties in a woman turning
So,
you
but they
down.
don't give a rat's about that.
Sybil, he wasn't handsome till he got famous.
Still ain't handsome, bro. No, I guess in the beginning of radio, we had our obstacles. We
Yeah.
had our obstacles, even with leaving the Donnie Simpson show, coming to the Tom show. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we definitely had our obstacles. Yes. I won't get into legal trouble.
None of the legals. Kira, is it
Look,
Kira or Kyra?
I thought
On
you were white, Chris. I ain't gonna lie.
I
So did his wife.
Kyra Harris on
She still
Facebook says
does.
she thought that Chris was white.
That's how
Well,
far Chris has become.
on the Joyner show, we did have Asked a White Man, and we've had several other characters on there who were of the Caucasoid persuasion, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
My mother just
that
texted me and said she didn't know, Chris.
Don't tell her.
All right, Coy, you can start. When we ask Coy a question, she's always got a lot of examples. Can you give us some examples of those things that you have pursued and perhaps you have been denied, but you keep plugging away?
True story.
See,
There's a celebrity that I liked, and I, put my bid out there, and he said no, and I kept plugging anyway. And eventually I left it alone, because then I guess in his eyes I kind of look stalkerish when you keep asking people the same. And I wasn't even asking the same thing. It's just we happen to keep being in the same place at the same time.
Can I come inside your house? That is a little stalkerish. That's a little stalkerish.
No, it wasn't like that.
I like she's a damn vampire, Chris. You got to ask first. That's some True Blood stuff right there, bro.
No, it wasn't like that. I just happened to be visiting in New York and going out to a club, and he was at this club, or when he was here performing in Atlanta, and I used to work downtown at an office building in Atlanta, and I ran into him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who was it? Who were you
Spike
stalking?
Lee. Spike Lee. It was Spike Lee.
No.
He was
No,
saying
if it's
Spike
Spike
Lee.
Lee,
Hey, Spike. Hey, Spike.
Was it Gary Coleman?
No.
What are you talking about?
No, it was believe it or not, it was actually the singer Maxwell, for real.
Oh, well, get in line.
Oh, you definitely were stalking.
No, I wasn't.
That was Maxwell lookalike, his doppelganger. They called himself Sanka. You remember the brother Sanka was going around, man? Yeah, Sanka.
No, it was not. I did not want to be looked
Maxwell?
at like that, so I just
So you
I left that alone.
So give us an example of how you step to him, Coy.
I just told him that I know Maxwell's a facade, and I want to know who you are.
Oh, by the lake.
Security! Security!
Oh my God. That's what you told him?
Yes. Yep. Sure
Women
did.
lose their minds over Maxwell. They'll follow him
do.
around. They'll take secret pictures with him at
Yeah,
Tom
I know-
Joyner's
I
family
know-
reunion.
Yeah.
I know some people personally.
Right.
Yeah,
Take
Pretty
secret photos.
You petty,
wings.
Chris.
Mm-mm.
He's
No.
watching the show right now.
He probably is. Like, there's
Yeah,
that girl.
yeah,
Go ahead and
yeah.
block her.
Threw Dr. Marks under the bus, bro.
Wow. Hey. Remember. I will tell
Well,
you.
at least Coy got Maxwell's autograph. It was on a restraining order, but
No.
she got his autograph.
You had to sign off on it.
No,
He
nothing.
gave him a coffee can.
No.
But ting. Well, I will. Janice Eastman said, "We not mad at you, Coy. He is fine."
He is.
Oh, I was trying to figure out what that word was.
I know. I said
I said she can't spell phone.
Fine.
And Rosemary Smith agrees on YouTube. She said, "Get in line, Coy."
See, that's what I didn't want to do, because I did not want to look like everybody
We
else.
wanted to
I'm like, I
see
got
the
2 seconds to
facade
say one
behind
thing.
Maxwell.
May I just suggest that you work on your approach?
Yeah,
'Cause
that approach is like, you
Oh
don't.
no, that's over with now.
Okay, so who's your
You
next?
don't roll up to them. Who's the real KC?
Who's the real KC?
And he's like, I'm JoJo.
Leave me alone.
Who's the real Bill Cosby? Well, drink this and I'll tell you.
A little Spanish.
Take a sip of this and I'll tell you.
Besides that, I became a chef recently, or officially. So
Yvonne Morales, let me hang on to that, Coy. Yvonne Morales said on YouTube, I would stalk him until the cops came a knocking. All right. Okay,
oh my God.
I hope she's not
sounds like
married,
Coy
Sybil.
too.
No,
Boy,
not
you see
like
what you
Coy,
done
not
started,
like
Coy?
Coy. Huh?
You see what you done started?
I know, right? A whole
Oh,
firestorm.
we have another one. Sharita White on YouTube said, Coy, if you ever run into LL in NYC, tell him I said hello.
Boy, this
Okay.
sounds like a new business. Women want you to stalk celebrities for them.
Yeah.
For them.
You got a stalking business.
That's
You're
a
a
new
professional
business for
stalker.
you,
Wow,
Coy.
It
Buy
could
a
be.
stalker, rent a stalker,
It
buy
could
a
be.
stalker, something on that.
But I gotta
on
keep
that
my
level.
face anonymous so they don't look at me and say, "Here she comes."
Yeah.
Walking down that street.
Wow.
So Coy,
Nice little tribute there.
Thank you, Mike Nesmith,
Yes.
R.I.P.
That's right.
So Coy,
I would lose my mind over Sade.
Tyrone Bourne on Facebook said Maxwell missed out on Coy.
Oh.
Nice,
Now
Tyrone.
Tyrone is
Okay.
stalking Coy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's stalking Coy.
He's stalking Coy.
Now you know how it feels. Did you see his face had two horses kissing? You didn't see a picture up there. You see the two horses facing each other.
And he wants to know who's the real Coy.
Yeah.
Okay. Just how coy is she? Yeah.
Tyrone, he think he's slick. He said, "I got that ivermectin on the left."
Wink, wink to go with
Wink,
your
wink.
elderberry and your zinc. All right. So the question is, ladies and gentlemen, in addition to encouraging Coy, the question was, what are those things or people that have stopped you or tried to stop you from pursuing them or a job or something like that? And the roadblocks would not stop you. You were just determined to push forward. And we'd like to know from people who are watching and listening, what are those things that you would not be deterred by? And so, Coy, you were also going to talk about you've gone on about Maxwell, and I'm not sure how your dinner date is going to go after this discussion. But what about from a business perspective, those things that you have pursued?
From a business perspective,
Jobs.
me becoming a chef. That's something that I started later on. I, was learning to cook at home, learn from watching my parents, my grandmother. When I started out on my own cooking, there were things that I was pretty good at and things that tasted terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't see how I was going to be able to take what I know and get professional training, especially with going to culinary school. That's not something that you just jump in and jump out, and it's very expensive. And now I've been officially hired as a chef cook at a restaurant, and that just happened a few days ago. Thank you.
Excellent.
It is wonderful. And I'm like, wow, this is something I never thought, ever.
But please,
ever.
please don't get in fights like the other cooks at Waffle House. You're not.
Oh, bro.
You're not. What?
That's awful.
Hey, it's true.
Yeah.
But emotions run high in those kitchens. I don't care if you're at the Waffle House or one of the best, houses in terms of restaurants.
Officially the head chef at the Tree House.
I mean, we're laughing, but being a chef is a high pressure job. There are few relationships as personal and important to people as their relationship with food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a big thing. And congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We joke, but we're not joking. Congratulations.
And so that's what I mean by, just showing your persistence in pursuing something. Didn't work out so well with Maxwell, but it has worked out now with Coy in one of her new careers.
Just finding another route.
Coy smiling like, y'all think it didn't work out with me.
No, I'm happy in my relationship. I let that go. It's just,
Okay.
no.
After you done said all that stuff, now you happy in your relationship?
No.
You must just got a text. Right.
I've told him this story before.
Your ass got
Like,
one more Maxwell time. You got one more Maxwell.
Okay. And don't forget who's paying for dinner. So come on now.
I know, right?
Your birthday dinner as opposed to Christmas dinner.
Speaking of the Waffle House.
All right. Well, happy birthday again, and congratulations on your persistence, Coy. We congratulate you on both of those things.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
And don't forget the treehouse. A hidden gem. All right, let's move to
the door.
Yeah, we got that the second time. All right. So let's move on to the What You Need to Know newsletter. And Coy, let's start with you. Coy is one of our contributors, a social justice contributor, as a matter of fact. She does dabble in a number of different areas, but definitely as the social justice contributor there. And Coy, you have a story about another Minneapolis police officer being cited for mishandling a black man during an arrest.
Here we go again in South Minneapolis. An off-duty officer at that violently arrested 64-year-old Troy Lee Billups at an Aldi grocery store after a non-violent exchange with another young man there. And non-violent as in they were having a conversation, and apparently he told the young man, "Don't touch me, don't put your hands on me, let's keep a distance from one another." And while that was going on, a person started recording the exchange as the officer approached Mr. Billups and said, "You're out," and threw him to the ground, manhandled this guy. And then while the person was recording, you can hear him in the video saying, like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be de-escalating the situation."
This is the man who's being arrested telling the cop how to act correctly and appropriately.
Yes, and so they end up.
So is that the man being arrested, or the one that's recording saying you need to?
The one that's recording is saying that, and the man that was being arrested also said
so
this.
Both
in the video
of them
well.
were telling
this.
The cop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so he's explaining, like, we didn't touch each other. I just told him not to put your hands on me. And the man was eventually taken outside, where he was arrested and charged with obstructing the legal process with force. He was released from jail without bail. And the prosecutors have also dismissed the case, but he was banned from that particular store.
Now, this Aldi.
Oh my God. Banned from Aldi. It's not even it's not Costco. It's not a club.
Right. And like, why?
You don't have to show a card like you're going to the free house or something.
Right. And he wasn't at fault either. So it's just it's mind baffling. But what's even more baffling is that this particular officer by the name of Christopher Lang has now been investigated for his actions, and he's been investigated for misconduct 5 times since 2019.
Wow! So in a matter of years, he's had his run-ins with the law, with people who he doesn't like as a law enforcer.
Right.
Does it just by any chance? Did you have any information? Was it black people that he was involved in these other engagements with, illegal or otherwise?
I haven't seen who he was involved with. I just saw that there were 5 misconduct investigations, but it would be interesting to see, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were black.
The case.
Right.
I'm with you.
For an officer to engage like that with an elderly gentleman, like you didn't even have no respect.
Yeah.
Like you didn't even see him as an elderly gentleman. You saw him as
it wasn't, and it wasn't like a big strong guy like George and those kind of George Floyd and those kinds of situations, or a young black man like with the Brooklyn Center case with Kim Potter. Yeah,
right.
But does it really? And this is just off the subject a little bit, but in terms of Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota, does it surprise you guys that there are so many racially involved cases in which police officers and their handling and their treatment of black people? Did it surprise you, or this is something?
At all.
No.
I mean, this is the reputation they've earned now.
Right.
Well, so now.
Now.
Yeah.
But everybody thought Minneapolis was cool because Prince is from there.
Yeah, exactly.
We thought Prince, the time, all them. I mean, we thought everybody was cool there. Nope. They're cool. The cops aren't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not so cool.
Yeah, exactly. The people are cool, but not the cops. The people in the water are cool, but not so much for anybody else. All right. Well, thanks for that story, Coy. And can I also tell people, just having looked at the newsletter for tomorrow, Coy has another really interesting story. So can you just get, and I'm asking you just for a tease, Coy, your story that you have for tomorrow. Do you have it in your head?
I
know you've been doing a number of stories.
I have been doing a number of stories, and let's see, my story for tomorrow talks about, let's see,
That's okay.
a university professor
Yes.
that was fired for mixing up the names of 2 Black students.
And so this is just really interesting to me, and I hope that people will take a look at the story that Coy has prepared for tomorrow. So without further ado, we will move on
They were
to
like, Professor, you pronounce that Nigel. His name is Nigel.
So this is also in the newsletter. We have another contributor, and this is the Black Women's PAC, and talking about the Build Back Better bill that the president is trying to get passed before the end of the year. And it's a little dicey whether this is going to happen, but it does help. Not only we're talking about the child tax care credits that may go away after this month, if they don't extend it and get this in the Build Back Better bill and pass that. But also, this bill helps uninsured Black families in the state of Texas, among other places. Even though 2 polls show that 7 in 10 Texans say that they favor Medicaid expansion, the Republican-controlled state government refuses to help uninsured Black women and their families. The House version of the Build Back Better Act allows people in non-expansion states to enroll in one of the private healthcare plans sold on the Affordable Care Act marketplaces. A federal subsidy would pick up the full cost of monthly premium, and co-payments would be small. And this would help through 2025 if they pass this in the Build Back Better bill. It's highly unlikely that a number of these things are going to make it through the Senate version, which will be the one that will go to the president. Amongst the things are the child tax credit, as well as this involving health insurance for Black people, and especially for Black women and their families, single Black women and their families. Another thing that is unlikely because of people like Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, who don't like these things. They say that that this bill is only going to lead to further inflation in this country, as well as the price tag will be far greater than what they are proposing to pay for this bill.
Manchin, who's never met a medical lobbyist who he didn't like.
Come on. Thank you, Chris Paul. Absolutely.
Lobbyist.
And no thanks to him and his daughter, they have really put the kibosh on a lot of people being helped by the Medicare and Medicaid system. His daughter, who people know as the woman who has jacked up the prices for EpiPens.
Right.
And let's also talk about the coronavirus. We did mention it earlier, but let's talk about the fact that the country has now, the United States has now surpassed the 800,000 mark for the number of deaths from this virus in less than 2 years. The first Americans that were attached to the coronavirus. This happened in February 2020. Here we are now less than 2 years later, and we're looking at over 800,000 people who have succumbed to the virus. It's not, obviously, this is not something that we celebrate, but we do observe it and give condolences to those people who have lost their lives to this virus, as well as the hope that this will come to an end and the loss of lives that we have seen over the last 2 years.
Do you think Americans are pretty much numb to that number now? Like, it's no different than when they heard 600,000 or 500,000 or 400,000. Is it like everybody is just so happy to be able to leave their house now and get vaccinated and do what they want to do?
But they was playing with the statistics back then. They was trying to, they was playing with those numbers back then. They didn't want the numbers to
come out. Yeah,
right.
It's really sad. It's really sad if you don't feel just how massive a number that is.
Right.
I mean, that's massive.
There was a psychological study that was kind of released about this. I want to say it was earlier this year, possibly last year, where it shows how people kind of detach themselves from the horrific truth of the numbers because the number is so big, and this is something that they can't fathom because either they're not a part of that number or they don't go outside and witness this number. When you have smaller numbers, or when you relate it to somebody that's relatable to you or personally related to you, as a friend or family member, you tend to have more sympathy,
It
and that's just human nature.
It got to be personal. Like say if you put the pictures in a newspaper, you know, then it's personal. Then you get to hear stories and
right. And the same thing was with the coronavirus. They used to do the stories at the end of the news shows, and they would show the people. They would give a daily number of people, telling their stories, and it did have a profound effect on you. Now, of course, we've moved away from it. We don't talk about it as much, and I do think that we don't comprehend that 800,000 people, that's more than in some states that we have.
I mean, on MSNBC, they always had the total in the corner of the screen. They had the total of cases and the total of deaths, nonstop. But now, that's gone. I guess they figure it just turns people off now to talk about it.
Because it's a machine that don't want you to know that.
Right.
They don't.
You can imagine 5, you can imagine 100 people, 100 objects or whatever, but to be aware of how much looks like 800,000, we can imagine that number, but we can't imagine what does that actually look like.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of out of mind, out of sight.
That's more than the population of Washington, D.C.
Right. Right. So
how many people have seen that in real life?
And that should be a state. And that's what I'm saying. This is the number of deaths greater than some states. The population of some states. The other thing that I want to close with in terms of the What You Need to Know newsletter, I don't know how much grocery shopping you guys do, Chris and Huggy. Maybe you have people for that.
I do it, but I won't be doing it at Aldi.
Well, here's the other thing. A number of grocery stores have limited a lot of items that they have on the shelves, or asking people not to purchase more than 2 of particular items. And some of those items include turkeys, hams, bacon, canned cranberry sauce. A lot of it has to do with refrigerated food items like Lunchables.
Shirley Caesar.
I got hams. I got turkeys. Yeah. But in this, a lot of the stuff is holiday related food. And so they are asking people, because of shortages and with the supply chain difficulties and what have you, they're asking people not to buy as much. And that doesn't mean that people can't go from store to store and buy 2, each time they go into a different store. But Coy, have you found this?
Yes, I have. During Thanksgiving, I found absolutely no canned cranberry sauce, so I had to end up making some. And I haven't seen paper towels in the stores for a while.
Trying to buy
I didn't feel like cooking everything.
the chef trying to buy.
Excuse me, what aisle is shit people don't want to eat in?
I would love to taste your cranberries if that's not too personal, Coy. Because I love cranberries, and I like the not the chopped stuff, that comes in a can like that. I like the real.
You don't want to see the cranberry in the shape of the can.
Right.
Yeah.
And you slice it up. No, that's not
Coy, like, look, I didn't have time. I was at the tree house last night.
It's a hidden gem.
I'm not doing all that.
All right. So Coy, you found this. I do go to the grocery store. I'm not a cook, but I do go to the grocery store, and I found that paper plates, all the cutlery, toilet paper is still finding empty shelves with that, and paper towels and things of that nature.
Good luck with bacon, Sybil. Good luck with bacon. Meanwhile, the Girl Scouts are out front like, we got everything.
Actually, about a week or so ago, I was at the supermarket, and they did not have any cream cheese.
That's another thing.
I think I was going crazy. I'm walking back and forth on the aisle, like, where the hell is the cream cheese? This white guy went berserk. You don't mess with a white dude's bagels. He went crazy up in there.
And now you want to know why you thought Chris Paul was white. Cream cheese and
shopping
bagels.
For cream cheese
and bagels.
That is funny. He live
in that type of neighborhood, Sybil.
I'm not mad at him, because it half and half is also and whipped cream and things like that are also difficult to find. So I understand.
Meanwhile, the carryouts are doing just fine in Washington, D.C.
You got a real image
paying
there,
more.
Huggy. You make them think you're eating at the carryout. Mr. Sushi King.
And that's gonna cost you too, my friend, if you haven't already.
Bro, I stopped eating that 2 years ago.
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
I have, Sybil.
Okay. All right.
Damn
okay.
Tom Joyner retiring.
Forced retirement.
Don't think I didn't go outside looking for my Christmas card from Tom today.
and open it like
Oh, right. Nothing.
Anything come for me? All right, let's.
Oh, you one of those people that open the card and grab the money, don't even read the card first, man.
And you're not?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wink, wink.
Tom, you can send me one too, even though you don't know me.
Cash Apper.
There she goes. She's
It is
on
her
her
birthday.
Maxwell. She's on her Maxwell.
You know, Tom, and you don't move as fast as
I
Maxwell,
want to
so
see
you'd
who
have
the
a
real
better
Tom Joyner is.
behind the glasses.
That's how Coy blew it with Maxwell.
Right.
She said, I want to know who the real Maxwell is, and here's my Cash App.
All right.
Tom, I know you're up in that jet. I want to see the real Tom Joyner.
My Cash App is Fortunate Pretty Wings.
The pretty wings, the chef with the pretty wings. It is time for the end of the Dr. Oz show, you guys. He's ending after 13 seasons. Of course, they believe that this has something to do with his running for the U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania.
Don't end your show. Don't end your show, Dr. Oz. Just end your campaign.
Well, it may come to that too, Chris, right?
Yeah, he hustling backwards. He's about to be the pillow guy right now, Sybil.
Right.
Oh, wow.
He's about to turn himself into the pillow guy.
Oh,
Dr. Pillow.
I just read somewhere where he was scared to do something in fear of Fox News or something.
yeah. I saw
He
a
didn't want to
headline.
offend Fox
Fox
News.
News, right. And that might have been the endorsement that he denied from
Wow.
Oprah. I'm kidding. And
Does he want to work at Fox News?
he lives on Fox News,
Right,
from
he's
what I
always on there.
understand. Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, a whole nother show on Fox News.
Well, pretty much. I mean, I guess if this doesn't work out with the senatorial campaign, that he'll be, knocking on the door for a Fox job. Because there's an opening now that Chris Wallace has quit. So we'll see what happens there. So his show is ending after 13 seasons, and his daughter's show, Daphne, she's getting a cooking show, and that's going to kick off in January as well. And that's going to feature one of our friends, Chef Jamaica Pessoa. So good luck to her on the Daphne food show. So we wish them all a lot of luck. All right, gentlemen, it is time to, and lady, it's time to wrap this up. Coy, once again, have a wonderful birthday. We wish you
Turn
well.
up, girl. Turn up. Turn up.
At the hidden gem.
I'm going
or
to the
elsewhere.
treehouse. That's how you get in the treehouse, Chris.
It's a hidden gem. And I leave you guys with Yogi's Jewel, and that is today. Would you like to give us any musical?
Happy birthday, Yogi's Jewels. Happy birthday, Yogi's Jewels. Happy birthday, dear Yogi's Jewels. Happy birthday, Yogi's Jewels.
I will, Nikeo
Hold on,
Tim
just-
on
we just
YouTube,
gotta-
I
we
will
just
tell you how Sherry Shepherd heard she had emergency surgery. She did.
Yes.
She had an appendectomy. And
Whoa.
I believe that she's already been released from the hospital. So we wish her a speedy recovery.
Get well, Sherry.
Absolutely. Our
Mhm.
She
friend
got
Sherry.
that good insurance.
Okay.
That good insurance. Sherry.
And get well, George Wallace.
Yes.
He got his head stuck in his ass again.
Oh, I heard that.
No.
I don't know where to go now. I think we need to go back to Yogi's Jewel.
Her head stuck in- Come on, Chris.
And Chris,
Get your head out your ass.
this is especially for you, Chris. Allow peace to envelop all of your thoughts, feelings, and ideas. Allow peace to envelop all of your thoughts, feelings, and ideas. Thank you guys for a great show. I
Could've just
appreciate
said
you.
Sound like
Smoke weed.
somebody was smoking
I
medicinal
know.
when they thought it
That
out.
said smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
I would
You can
talk to
tell they work
Yogi.
together.
Okay. Too long. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Coy, wonderful birthday.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And
Stay away from that canned cranberry, girl.
and we'll see you all soon. Thanks so much.
Enjoy
Aloha.
your birthday. See you soon.